Hey. Hey, you. Yeah. Come over here. Relax. It won't take a second. I just want to show you something. Just take a look at this. Have you ever seen something like this before? Of course you haven't. That's because this is a genuine castle crystal. Well, I'm glad you asked. See, I invented castle crystals. I'm a wizard who specializes in spatial magic. Very complicated stuff. For a long time, I've been considering the problem of space, especially in big cities like this. Did you know that in this city, it costs more to purchase land than for the materials to even build on it? I know, and it's a shame because you can't just make more space, right? Well, not anymore. You see, this crystal is actually a portal, a tiny little pocket dimension. And inside that pocket dimension is a whole castle. See, I wanted to live in a castle for the longest time. I even have the connections to have a castle built. But the things that were always stopping me were buying land and legal red tape. That's why I invented the castle crystal. No cost to buy land, no angry kings worried about you're building a fortress within their territory. It's perfect. It's all contained in an entirely separate reality. You can easily access it with this. Originally, I made it for myself. Then I got to thinking, wouldn't other people like this? So now, I'm putting them on the market. You could be one of the very first people to own a castle crystal. Think about that. A lavish place that you carry with you. You could travel anywhere you like, and yet always be able to return home in an instant. Ah, a very good question. That's another advantage of using a pocket dimension. I've made little tweaks to reality within the pocket dimension for your convenience. The castle itself, as well as the parcel of land that surrounds it, is in a sort of time loop. At any point, you reset the castle, meaning that everything is back within its place, all the dust and grime is gone, and any damage is repaired. It requires practically no maintenance at all. There's no catch. Well, if there was, I suppose it would be the price. I have a lot of good connections with some architects who have been dying to build something interesting. That, along with using my magic to make the construction process easier, it has let me keep the costs relatively low, but, well, it's still a castle. And the materials for creating pocket dimensions are rare, so it's not going to be cheap. Ugh, why does everyone have to ask that? Okay, yes, sure. I could build something less extravagant, like a small house, but that's so boring. I wanted to make something with, you know, with style. Besides, the materials for pocket dimensions are rare, like I said, so I can only make so many of these. I I wanted to make as much of a profit off each as I could. Hold on. Look, don't you at least want to see one before you go? I, well, I can't really just take you right into one. I have a bunch of these crystals, see? I can't just bring any of these crystals into a pocket dimension with me. Ugh. Now that would be a whole mess. I don't want to just leave them here unguarded. But what I can do is use this crystal ball. It can show you what's beyond each portal. Come here. Let me show you one of my favorites. Look at that. Huh? The architecture is based on the Imperial Palace of Southland. Tall, vaulted ceilings, ornate pillars, the whole deal. Absolutely beautiful. Particularly happy with the throne room. I wondered if a palace owned by a normal citizen actually needs a throne room. But then I thought, why wouldn't you have a throne room in a palace? The architecture of the throne room is particularly clever because of the acoustics. Up on the throne, approaching noises deadened a bit. So if you were to have a lot of people in there, it wouldn't be absolutely deafening. But going the other direction, everyone else in the room can hear you easily. Makes total sense for a throne room, right? Ooh! And check out the master bedroom. You see that bed? It could probably fit 10 people in there. Now, I don't know why you'd want to, but I say bigger is better. And how about all that natural light? It's completely worth putting it at the top of the tower, just for that. And that's just the finest of 100 bedrooms. Think of how many guests you could have. And of course, there's a large kitchen, a dining room, a library wing, a ballroom, sitting rooms. It'd probably take all day to tell you every kind of room there was in this place. You know, one of the biggest challenges was making sure this place stayed warm. Stone isn't great for that, of course. I ended up buying a lot of very luxurious rugs. There's a different pattern in every room. I almost hate to part with it, but I do want it to see some use. I could let it go for, hang on. Let me check what the price was. 175,000 gold coins. Okay, I know that really sounds like a lot. To be fair, it is a lot. But do you have to think about what a deal this is? Do you know what it would cost to build a palace like this normally? There's a reason only kings and emperors live in them. Ordinarily, you need the riches of an entire nation for something like this. 175 is doable though. Granted, you need to borrow the money. But you could use your castle to make money, right? Rent it out for parties, that sort of thing. You can easily travel anywhere for work. I mean, okay. I personally don't know anyone who would lend that much money. But somebody has to be able to, right? Well, alright. I guess it's not realistic of me to sell one of my priciest castle crystals to ordinary people. But, hey, got some cheaper ones. Yeah, like this one. This one is fun because it has a theme. See that? There's like a sandcastle. Isn't that fun? No, it's made out of sandstone, not sand. The tricky part was carving it right so it looked natural. There are hardly any sharp corners here. Yeah. It's a bit smaller, with only 45 bedrooms. Still more than you probably need though, right? It still has plenty of space. For this castle, we actually decided to embrace the nice, cool stone. It's a tropical climate in this pocket dimension. There's always a nice, cool breeze blowing through the castle. But in a lot of ways, it's what's outside the castle that's really great. You're right on the beach. Isn't that amazing? Ah, let me tell you, it was not easy to do that, especially making the waves. The whole pocket dimension is only about a square mile, so making a water behave like a real ocean, it took a lot of tweaking. If you want this one, it'll probably be 88,000 gold coins. Barely more than half of the first one. No, it's still too expensive? I mean, granted, it's still pricier than most mansions, but you can't find this sort of thing anywhere else. This is a tough sale. Ah, but don't worry, I won't stop until I find something you want to buy. Oh? My, cheapest one? Well, I don't know. Cheaper also means not as good, right? You sure you don't want... Alright, alright. Let's see. It would probably be this one. I'm not even sure you can call this a palace. Or a castle, really. Actually, I never really bothered to learn the difference between those two words. Anyway, I don't think it's really either of them. Though it does look like one, from an architectural standpoint. This was meant to be a sort of a practice one. It's designed based on small fortresses of the Boromai people. It was an interesting strategy, building small forts all over the place and making them larger and more comfortable as time went on. You can probably have about 20 people living here comfortably. It is all the basics, you know. Bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen, dining room, throne room, and a ballroom. All fairly modest. The design looks a bit blocky and basic, but it does have some nice embellishments, I'll admit. A lot of murals. I guess the good side of a small castle is more open land. There's plenty to do outside. There's a pond and a small forest. The weather's always pleasant, and of course. This one, actually hadn't written down a price for it. I hadn't intended to sell it. But I'd say about 20,000 gold coins. I... Really? You'll take it? Great! Oh, are you sure you don't want to see one that's maybe a little bit more... No? Alright. I had to ask. Out of curiosity, what do you plan to use it for? Just a personal home or, what? Oh? Well, I never even thought of that. Splitting the cost with somebody else could make it much more affordable. Smart. Well, naturally I'll need payment first. And I imagine you don't have that much gold on you just sitting around. But don't worry. I'll be here every day selling my castle crystals. You can buy with payment soon, and the castle's all yours. Thank you so much for giving these a chance. I regret that I wasn't able to convince you to get a real castle, but, well, I'm sure somebody will buy one someday. Until you return, take care.